Think about your daily routine for a moment. Every morning, millions of people across the country peel a banana for breakfast, throw the peel into the trash, brew a fresh pot of coffee, and dump the spent ground straight into the garbage. To the untrained eye, these are just common household waste products destined for a landfill. But to an experienced gardener, you are looking at pure, unadulterated botanical gold. You are literally throwing away some of the most valuable, highly bioavailable organic nutrients on the planet. Nutrients that could completely transform your backyard garden from a struggling patch of green into a lush, high-yielding paradise. Most gardeners don't know this, but plants are constantly communicating with us. They don't speak in words, but they show their distress through clear, visible signals. Have you ever looked closely at your tomato or pepper plants and noticed the lower leaves turning a sickly yellow along the edges, while the tips look brown and crispy, almost as if they've been scorched by a flame? Or perhaps your plants are growing tall, but the stems feel weak and spindly, unable to support their own weight. Even worse, maybe your plants are producing plenty of flowers, only for those blossoms to dry up and drop off the vine before they ever have a chance to set fruit. These are not random misfortunes or signs of bad luck. This is a classic urgent cry for help. Your plants are suffering from a severe potassium deficiency. Potassium is one of the big three essential macronutrients that every single plant needs to survive and thrive, represented by the K in the NPK ratio you see on commercial fertilizer bags. While nitrogen builds lush green leaves and phosphorus develops strong roots, potassium acts as the ultimate regulator. It is the engine that drives the plant's internal transport system, moving water, carbohydrates, and essential sugars from the leaves down to the roots and up into the developing fruit. Without enough potassium, your plants simply cannot feed themselves, no matter how much water you give them. This is where the humble banana peel comes in. Banana peels are naturally packed with organic potassium, along with trace amounts of calcium, magnesium, and sulfur. But here is the catch, and this is the step many people skip. You cannot simply throw whole banana peels onto the soil around your plants and expect miracles. If you do this, you will quickly realize that whole peels take months to break down. In the meantime, they will attract unwanted pests like fruit flies, rodents, and raccoons, while creating a messy, unsightly layer of rot that can actually harbor harmful fungal pathogens. To unlock the true power of this organic resource, we must use a master gardener's secret extraction method. Here is where the real secret begins. Instead of leaving the peels whole, you must take a sharp knife or a pair of kitchen shears and cut the banana peels into very small microscopic pieces, aiming for pieces no larger than a quarter of an inch. By doing this, you are exponentially increasing the total surface area of the organic material. This simple act of chopping allows the water to penetrate the cell walls of the peel, releasing the locked-up minerals and organic potassium up to 3 times faster than if you had left the peels whole. It is a simple mechanical trick that yields massive biological results. Once you have chopped your peels into a fine, golden brown mince, the process of transformation truly begins. You are about to create a powerful, fast-acting liquid fertilizer that your plants can absorb almost instantly through their root systems, bypassing the long, slow decomposition process entirely. But to do this correctly, you must follow a precise, time-tested extraction process that ensures the nutrients remain pure, stable, and highly concentrated. With your finely chopped banana peels ready, the next step is to place them gently into a clean, sterile glass jar. Using glass is highly recommended over plastic because it is completely inert and will not leach any unwanted chemicals or microplastics into your organic fertilizer during the extraction process. Once the peels are resting at the bottom of the jar, add 500 milliliters of clean, room temperature water. If possible, try to avoid using municipal tap water straight from the faucet. Most tap water contains chlorine and chloramines, which are specifically added by water treatment facilities to kill bacteria. While this is great for drinking water, it is highly detrimental to your garden. These chemical sanitizers can destroy the beneficial soil microbes that work in tandem with your plant's roots to process nutrients. Instead, use filtered water, rainwater, Or simply let your tap water sit out in an open container for 24 hours to allow the chlorine to naturally evaporate into the air. Once the water is added to the jar, seal it tightly and let nature do its quiet, miraculous work. You want to let this mixture soak for at least 6 hours, but leaving it overnight is best. As the hours tick away, a process of cold water extraction takes place. The water will slowly begin to change color, transitioning from crystal clear to a rich, light amber brown. What you are witnessing is the water becoming saturated with highly bioavailable ionic potassium, natural sugars, and trace minerals. This is your custom-made potassium elixir, a potent tonic specifically formulated to stimulate a strong, resilient root system and promote uniform, abundant flowering. But before you take this liquid to your garden, there is a crucial step that separates the amateur gardeners from the seasoned professionals. You must use a clean cloth, a paper coffee filter, or a very fine mesh strainer to completely remove all remaining solid banana particles from the liquid. This step is extremely important, and skipping it is a recipe for disaster. If you allow even tiny organic particles of undecomposed banana peel to enter your garden soil, they will settle around the base of the plant. There, in the warm, moist soil environment, they will begin to ferment and rot. This invites anaerobic mold, harmful bacteria, and destructive pests like fungus gnats, whose larvae will happily feast on your plant's delicate root hairs. By filtering the liquid until it is completely clear and free of sediment, you ensure that the nutrients remain in their purest, most stable liquid form. This allows the plant's roots to absorb the potassium immediately through osmosis, without any risk of soil contamination or root rot. Now you are ready to apply this liquid gold to your garden, but don't just pour it onto the ground haphazardly. Before watering, take a small hand fork or a wooden stick and gently loosen the top layer of soil around the base of your plants, being careful not to disturb the main root structure. This breaks up the hardened, compacted surface crust that naturally forms over time due to sun exposure and regular watering. Loosening the soil allows oxygen to circulate freely down into the root zone and ensures that when you pour your nutrient solution, it soaks deeply and evenly into the soil where the roots can actually reach it, rather than simply running off the sides and wasting your hard work. Once the soil is loose and breathable, pour your clear banana peel solution directly onto the prepared earth. For the best results, apply this treatment consistently once a week, preferably in the early morning before the heat of the day sets in. What happened next surprised me when I first tried this years ago. The results became visible just days later. Within 10 to 14 days of consistent application, you will see the first flower buds begin to swell and bloom with incredible vigor. Soon after, those blossoms will set into heavy, uniform clusters of lush green fruit that grow faster, stronger, and healthier than ever before. If you are growing tomatoes or peppers, you will also notice a dramatic increase in their natural sweetness and flavor, as potassium is directly responsible for synthesizing the sugars within the fruit. While the banana peel elixir is an absolute game changer for flowering and fruiting, a truly thriving garden requires a balanced diet. Just as humans cannot survive on vitamins alone, your plants need a diverse range of nutrients to reach their full genetic potential. This brings us to the second highly guarded secret of professional organic growers: the power of spent coffee grounds. Most people look at used coffee grounds and see nothing but waste. But in reality, coffee grounds are a treasure trove of three essential plant nutrients: nitrogen, magnesium, and phosphorus. Nitrogen is the absolute building block of plant life. It is the primary driver of vegetative growth, responsible for creating the lush, deep green leaves and strong, leafy canopy that allows the plant to photosynthesize and produce energy. Magnesium is the central atom in the chlorophyll molecule, meaning without it, your plants cannot capture sunlight to make food. Phosphorus, meanwhile, is essential for cellular division and energy transfer within the plant. When a plant is starving for nitrogen and magnesium, it will let you know in a very specific way. You will notice the older, lower leaves of your plants turning a pale, washed-out green, which eventually fades into a sickly yellow. The overall growth of the plant will stall, leaving you with stunted, unproductive bushes that look tired and depleted. This is a clear sign that your soil's nitrogen reserves are completely empty. To fix this, Many gardeners make the critical mistake of taking wet, fresh coffee grounds straight from their coffee maker and dumping them in a thick layer around the base of their plants. This is a major mistake. Wet coffee grounds form a dense, hydrophobic barrier as they dry out. This barrier acts like a sheet of concrete, blocking water, air, and vital nutrients from reaching the soil below. Furthermore, wet grounds are highly susceptible to developing mold, which can quickly spread to your plant's stems and cause devastating fungal diseases. Here is the step many people skip. You must dry your coffee grounds completely before using them. After brewing your morning coffee, spread the spent grounds in a thin, even layer on a baking sheet or a flat tray. Place them in a warm, sunny spot or dry area indoors and let them air dry until they are completely moisture-free, light, and powdery to the touch. This simple step prevents mold formation, eliminates clumping, and prepares the nutrients within the grounds for optimal extraction. Once your coffee grounds are thoroughly dried, place exactly 2 tablespoons of the dried grounds into a clean glass jar. Next, add 1 liter of room temperature water. Using water at this specific temperature is absolutely key. Many people think that using hot water will extract the nutrients faster, but hot water can actually destroy the beneficial microorganisms present in the dried grounds and alter the delicate chemical structure of the organic minerals, making them less effective. Room temperature water, on the other hand, allows for a gentle, natural extraction process that preserves the biological integrity of the nutrients. Stir the mixture thoroughly with a wooden spoon until the dried grounds are completely suspended in the water, then seal the jar and let it rest undisturbed for a full 24 hours. During this day-long steeping process, a slow and steady osmotic transfer occurs. The water gently coaxes the nitrogen, magnesium, and phosphorus out of the cellular structure of the coffee grounds, dissolving them into the liquid. By the end of the 24 hours, you will be left with a rich, dark, aromatic tea that is teeming with highly concentrated, plant-ready nutrients. Just as we did with our banana peel elixir, we must now filter our coffee ground tea before introducing it to our garden. After the 24-hour steeping process is complete, use a fine sieve, a clean piece of cotton cloth, or a paper coffee filter to strain out every single grain of coffee sediment. This step is absolutely paramount. If you allow the solid coffee particles to enter your garden soil, they will settle into the microscopic air spaces between the soil particles. Over time, these tiny, undecomposed organic particles will clog the root system's air pores, effectively suffocating the roots and preventing them from absorbing oxygen. Furthermore, leaving wet, solid coffee sediment on the soil surface creates an anaerobic environment that attracts harmful insects, fungus gnats, and mold. Straining the mixture ensures that you are left with a pure, clean, liquid nutrient solution that can penetrate the soil instantly, allowing the roots to absorb the nitrogen, magnesium, and phosphorus in the cleanest and safest way possible. Before applying this rich, dark coffee tea to your garden, remember to gently loosen the top layer of soil around the base of your plants, just as you did before applying the banana peel elixir. This simple act of aeration breaks up the surface tension of the soil, allowing this highly concentrated liquid nutrition to sink deep into the root zone where it is needed most, rather than running off the surface and evaporating into the air. Apply this filtered coffee solution directly to the loosened soil once a week. As this nutrient-rich liquid penetrates deep into the earth, something truly remarkable happens beneath the surface. The natural compounds in the coffee tea interact with the soil chemistry to form a microscopic protective biofilm layer around the plant's roots. This biofilm acts as a shield, protecting the delicate root hairs from soil-borne pathogens and environmental stress. But the benefits don't stop there. The strong, natural aroma of the brewed coffee, combined with its extremely mild acidity, acts as a highly effective, completely natural pest repellent. Soft-bodied pests like slugs, snails, and destructive ants absolutely detest the scent and chemical compounds found in coffee. By watering your plants with this solution, you are creating an invisible aromatic barrier around the base of your plants that repels these pests immediately, keeping your garden safe without the need for harsh, toxic chemical pesticides. What happened next surprised me, and it will surprise you too. After just 30 days of consistently using this homemade coffee ground tea, even the weakest, most yellowing and struggling seedlings will undergo a complete and total transformation. They will develop into incredibly strong, robust, and deep green bushes with thick, sturdy stems and a dense canopy of healthy leaves. This is the undeniable power of clean, organic, home-brewed nutrition. By combining these two incredibly simple, virtually free kitchen waste resources, banana peels for potassium, and coffee grounds for nitrogen, magnesium, and phosphorus, you can create a complete, balanced, and professional-grade liquid feeding program for your garden. You can rotate these two treatments, applying the coffee ground tea 1 week to boost vegetative growth and leaf development, and the banana peel elixir the following week to stimulate deep root growth and explosive flowering. This is the timeless wisdom of experienced gardeners. You don't need expensive, chemical-laden, store-bought fertilizers to achieve the garden of your dreams. The secrets to a thriving, high-yielding, and pest-free garden are already sitting right there in your kitchen trash can, waiting to be unlocked. If you found these practical, time-tested gardening secrets helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to join our growing community of passionate, organic gardeners. We share practical, high-value tips and secrets every single week to help you grow the most beautiful and productive garden possible. Don't forget to try these two simple liquid fertilizers in your own garden today, and be sure to share your incredible results with us in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, happy gardening, and we will see you in the very next video.